Hey folks, it's Sven back again, and today it's proper chords to Exactly Like You. Some of you guys asked me to do it and I love to do it because he saw this video of mine, Exactly Like You, where I'm playing the lead part, but this video is about the rhythm part. It's very important to play rhythm guitar because people love to play with rhythm guitarists actually. So I will play one chorus to show and then explain something about the tune, because the tune is important because it has one of those forms that can be found over and over again in jazz music. It's almost the same tune like Take the A-Train, Lulu Swing, Coquette. You know, that's just a bunch of songs that are played like this. Opato, for example. There's a lot of songs played in gypsy jazz or in contemporary jazz that share exactly these forms with variations in part B. So here we go. It starts in the key of C with an E note in the melody. I will whistle along a bit, but not to show you I'm a great whistler, but to make it easier to follow the form. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Melody here, I have to admit that. So that's the song basically. And part A is this typical form. We start on the C chord, and in that key, in C or in the key of D, I would play it basically from the A string. So it's the C6-9 chord that you should know, but the typical thing in gypsy jazz concerning idiomatic voicings is that I cover two strings with one finger. My middle finger is playing G and C. So I have a normal bar chord here with the index covering E and A, and the ring finger is banded for D and G. So I'm having a very buzzing chord covering all 6 strings. And I just moved that chord to the 5th fret to get the next chord, D dominant 7-9. The only difference is that my ring finger now is covering G, B and E, and the index bar chord is no longer needed. So this is the difference. Here I have this index bar chord, and here my index is just playing F sharp and the ring finger is playing all the other strings. Then I got a 2-5. That doesn't necessarily have to be a 2-5, it can also be only a 5. All the 2 chords, all the second degree chords in 2-5s in gypsy jazz and in old time swing music or in jazz music in generally, these are only grace chords. They are very important for the sound of the music, but actually it's more like the effect from sus to dominant. So it's just like you could always leave them out. This is important when you learn how to solo, because you can focus on the 5th chord and just, you know, leave the second degree chord a bit behind, you know. And as soon as you feel comfortable playing forms, as soon as you hear the form while playing solo, even if there is no accompaniment, and you get more and more secure with licks and with the language of music, then you can focus on really, you know, working out the 2-5 and every little detail. But actually a 5 will do. So a 2-5 would be D minor 7. This is the pretty normal jazz chord with D, F, C and F. And then we got like G, 7, and the chord that I'm playing here is this one. And then typically in gypsy jazz I play G sharp diminished with an E on top. And this is more like a G13 chord with the flat 9 with G sharp in the bass. This is typical for gypsy jazz. Look, D minor, and I can even cover 2 fingers here, having the A in the bass, move it to G sharp diminished or G13 with the flat 9 in the bass, and then I go back to the full 6-string voicing on C6-9, and that sounds very original. So you can do this, or one chord that I played in the description was this one, and this is a G chord, which is pretty tricky. So my thumb is playing the root, the middle finger is covering D and G, the middle finger is playing B, and the pinky is playing the 7th F. Also fine is this chord, G dominant 7, pretty normal G dominant 7. My thumb is playing the root, A string is muted, and then we got like F, B and D. And you can also play this one with the pinky covering the 5th. This is typical in gypsy jazz. And if you don't like that and if this is too difficult, you can just play the normal jazz voicing with the index playing the root, and then you got like always leaving out one string, E string, D string, B string, and placing the pinky on the G string in the 4th fret. And we go back to C. So that was basically it. The turnaround that I played was probably special. I played this one. So the 2-5 is the same. Again, D minor and this G with the G sharp in the bass. But the 1 chord, the C, was played with the 3rd in the bass, E, D string muted, C on the G string 5th fret, and the pinky is playing E. And then I just have to, you know, move the middle and pinky 1 fret below. From C with E in the bass to D sharp diminished to 5. In the 2nd A, it's the same. But after the C6-9, we play C dominant 7, that is leading us to the bridge. So part B is with F, and I played this F. My thumb is playing F in the bass. Then I played with 2 fingers, C, F, A, and with the pinky, the D. If you have big hands and if you don't have problems with the typical idiomatic voicings, or you're a bit into gypsy jazz already, you might want to play the full chord, covering 2 strings with the middle finger, playing A with the index, and covering 2 strings with the ring finger, while playing the thumb. This one's difficult. So from the F6-9 or F6, you go to F minor 6 by just moving the index 1 fret below. Then we go back to C6-9. Sometimes I play it without a bended ring finger, you see? So the E string is muted in that case by my index. Then again, C6-9, C dominant 7-9, sorry, and the same thing. F, F minor 6, and then again this turnaround that we played at the end of part A. And again we got the part A, and that's actually it. Doing this little end phrase here. There's a lesson for these end phrases. I will put it in the description here in an info box card, or however you call it. So that's actually the whole tune. And as far as you learned that one, make sure to learn all the other songs that are like this, which would be Take the A Train, Lulu Swing, also very important song in gypsy jazz, Coquette, and you can also try this Latin tune O Pato that was played by Stan Getz, also a very nice tune with nice chords. And you know, you will understand that a lot of forms in jazz music are the same. There is the Take the A Train like tune, like this. There is the Honeysuckle Rose like tune, it's the same then Sweet Sue, and so on and so on. There's a lot of jazz forms that are all the same all the time and have little differences and details in every tune that make the tune special concerning the melody, but the general harmonic movement is very similar, very often very similar, and that's the good thing about jazz. It seems very difficult in the beginning, but once you're into it, you know, you also see these, you know, similarities between songs that will help you to get your goal, you know, quicker. I hope that lesson helped you. For other chord lessons or other lead guitar lessons and a lot of performances by great players, just search my channel, subscribe to my channel, there's tons of material there. And I hope we meet again. This was Sven Jungbeck for you. Bye.